Ladies and gentlemen, this is Business Glide, your go-to point on matters, public policy, business and economic analysis at large. My name is Richard Mwenjo. Welcome to the day's conversation. And today we look at what's happening in Kenya's economic space, and who better to help me bring such conversations home than this firebrand public scholar and Kenya's most sought-after political analyst. The first of his name, Herman Manyora. So long, you haven't been on the show, Business Glide, for quite a while.
I'm around.
You're now around. Back big and better?
Oh, yes.
Let's get straight into it. Well, let's talk matters to do with the revelations by ex-Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u, lifting the lead on the issues that have been ailing that particular docket. And more particularly, that which concerns Kenyans of there being ghost pensioners, ghost workers, perhaps why the wage bill is ballooning by the day. Do you think that this sort of revelation from Njuguna Ndung'u is new information from your standpoint?
How is it new? We know this. It's nothing new here.
Now, question is, while he was the CS, he had power at least to make recommendations or at least to make sure some decisions are taken into account. Why do you think he's crying foul right now?
Well, for two reasons. One, it's business as usual. When you go there, you are not supposed to work. You're just there and you do what everybody is doing.
Which is?
Which is do nothing.
At the expense of people's lives?
See no evil, hear no evil. Do nothing. That's how it is for everybody. But secondly, is that, does he have the capacity? I very much doubt. He doesn't have the capacity.
Even with the good credentials he had?
Which credentials? These are just paper credentials. He doesn't have capacity. Not at the central bank, not at Treasury.
But some say even the
you can't say those sort of things. You should be very shy to say them. You should be embarrassed. How would you say them?
So what do you make of his statement that that docket has been greatly affected by external pressure? You want to do something independently as the CS, but then the external parties making sure that you implement decisions that are not for the greater gain of the taxpayers.
That now is a greater issue. It's a national issue. It's a national conversation we ought to have. It is a question of who is the president, how independent is he, how much does he love the country, how does he treat the sovereign, how did he get to power, and all those kind of questions. Those ones are beyond the minister.
Very well.
Yes.
Some sections would argue that there is need for us to have technocrats in charge of economic planning docket, unlike the current CS, John Mbadi, who is a politician by background. Do you support that argument?
No, not at all.
Why though?
Technocrats are there. You can't do without technocrats. They are there upper chini, from the PS downwards. In fact, the PS need not be a technocrat. But below the PS, those must be technocrats, experts. Those are managers. The PS, the CS, even the PS, those are leaders. A leader is not a manager. They are managers who are technocrats. I, for example, am not a doctor, but I can run Kenyatta National Hospital better than any other person has ever done it. Because I will employ managers to do the job. I provide the leadership.
If that's the case, why then does ex-CS for Public Service, Moses Kuria, say Mbadi needs luck, prayers, and some sort of luck?
Yeah, the ecosystem in which he's operating doesn't make it easy for you to work. I think that's what Moses Kuria is saying, the ecosystem itself. For example, a CS is as good as the president wants him to be, assuming he has the capacity. A host of these people have no capacity for anything. Okay? But assuming you have capacity, unless you have super capacity, ordinary capacity, you are as good as the president wants you to be. He has to allow you to function as a CS. He has to give you the room to work. And we saw it in the Kibaki days, the initial Kibaki days. People from varied backgrounds, like who they went there and worked. Of course, there were a few buccaneers making money and so on and so forth, cutting deals. But a good number of ministers were doing their job. Raila was there with gusto, knocking down buildings from road reserves. That's why we have these bypasses. Come as your Raila, he knocked them down. People would go to Kibaki and Kibaki just says, oh, nimesikia, that's all. Then Raila will continue with the bulldozers. So if it was Ruto, he would want to be populist. If it was Moi, he would want to be populist. He will stop. I remember during Moi's time, God rest his soul, he was a very good guy. I supported him throughout.
Really?
Yeah, he was a good guy. Abbas will plunge into, say, Rivaniti, and then he will say from now onwards, speed governors. From now onwards, buses cannot maybe travel at night. After a month, bus owners go and see Moi, and he reverses everything.
Populism?
Yeah, that's what I would credit Kibaki for. He never did those kind of stupid things.
And now for this particular president of the day, William Ruto, who harbors ambitions of making Kenya the Singapore of Africa.
Ruto is populist. He would want to please the people. He will reverse the things. If you began knocking buildings, he will reverse.
So this conversation about us being the Singapore of Africa could be just a political statement?
No, that's just hot air. Now that we have a good phrase to use from the Supreme Court. Hot air.
Hot air?
Yeah.
Do you think it's still
You
hot?
think you can walk yourself into Singapore? You can joke your way into being a Singapore. You think those people joked? People are even being whipped. Nyaunyo. You think Singapore just happened? What will chop what kipoko physically?
Really?
Oh, the famous phrase, "Gum derails Singapore." Those electric trains, the initial ones in those 60s and 70s, chewing gum. And you make Singapore dirty, and you are collapsing Singapore. But literally also physically, those people, chewing gum was very popular. If you throw those things, you can even make those electric trains. You know, what unachapa kipoko? But the town must be clean. We are jokers. We can't do anything with this. What Uganda was saying, what does it tell you? It's a country of jokers.
But now with a broad-based executive.
Ghost pensioners.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why it's easy to have ghost pensioners is because there's confusion in the pension department. It is not streamlined. Before you retire, 6 months before you retire, they must give you notice that you are retiring. And this is what we have for you by way of pension. Do you have any disagreement? Within 2 months, you must tell us. But if the records are fine, you agree. If they are not fine, you alert them. Then you settle. But the day you are retiring, there's money in your account. Nobody can steal any money. There won't be any ghost pensioners.
So we do have the capacity.
Pardon?
Do we have the capacity to do that?
Why not? You think these children we have taken to school are these Gen Zs and millennials? You don't even need much old people. This is something a Gen Z can do. Just to streamline the pension part. Once it is streamlined, there will be no ghost pensioner. Not even one. Because it is so clear. 6 months to retirement, your file is brought to you. That this will be your dues on this date when you retire. Any dispute? No. The day you are retiring, go to your account. Just go to your account. You find your money there, all of it. And end month, your pension is in your account.
Social security perks, all of that.
If you deserve a house because you have retired, you are allocated a house already. Day one of your being a pensioner, there is a house for pensioners. Yours is allocated, you go there. Your paycheck weekly, £200 in the UK, for example. First week unaipata. Second, that's once things are that organized, well organized and systematic, it's not very easy to find ghost workers, ghost pensioners.
So from your optic, do you consider that it is the will that we don't have as a country to achieve such?
Just, yeah, there's no vision. We need a person with a vision.
Maybe.
This country will only be transformed if we will get a man or a woman to go to State House with a vision and very serious love for country. You must love your country first. And you must wish nothing but the best for the country.
Is that where Ruto falls short?
They don't, not Ruto alone, all of them are like that. Love your country. If you love your country, you cannot allow foreigners. Njuguna is talking about foreigners. You cannot allow foreigners to come and mess your country because you love your country. You will cooperate with foreigners. You will work together. There will be bilateral deals. There will be multilateral. All this will be there because you don't live on an island. You can't live in us. You'll work with other countries and other partners, IMF, World. You'll work with them. But your love for country will make you draw the line. There will always be a line beyond which they can't cross. Umeingia kwa nyumba yangu inaitwa Kenya. Huwezi ingia bedroom yangu. Kaa sitting room, utaletewa chai. Why do you want to go to my bedroom? IMF and World Bank are right in our bedroom. They even tell you sleep outside. Leo hutalala hapa na kunanyesha. So first of all, you don't love your country.
Is it that bad?
Is that bad? You don't love your country. Secondly, you don't have intelligence. You are not an intelligent person, because once you are educated or intelligent, you become critical, and that leads to commitment. See? Which means you are firm about certain things. There are boundaries you create. Yeah. Somebody can't cross certain boundaries. You get it? And then, over and above that, you must have a vision for you. When you retire, as lawyers say, when you retire, not retiring pension, but when you leave for the day, after you have been brought tea, you have put your feet in water because you have been working hard. Now you have tea. You relax and you look at the day, how it was, then you ask yourself, how is this day feeding into tomorrow and into the future? What have I done today that will make tomorrow a better day? How will yesterday, today, and tomorrow contribute to a better Kenya 100 years? What do we need to do? So you begin to have a vision, or you have a vision of a country, and you say, okay, we are the 5th, 6th largest economy in Africa. But even the best and the largest economy in Africa, which I think is South Africa or whatever it is not good enough. That's not my vision. My vision is of a Kenya that is better than Singapore. My vision is a Kenya where the worst house, the worst, yes, is these houses you see in Langata, Buruburu. That is the slum. Buruburu will be the slum of Kenya. Buruburu? That's my vision. Yeah, that's a slum. Those ones. These Southlands, Langata, Wayangei, all those estates you see, golf courses, where these estates you see.
Sure.
These houses which are going for 30, 40, 25 million. That will be the slum of Kenya.
In our lifetime it can happen?
Yeah, of course. And the worst Kenyan, living the worst life in the lowest house, will be having a 2-3 bedroom. That's the worst, the lowest Kenyan. In a flat. If you live in a flat, a 2-bedroom flat, you are almost unemployed. A Kenya where, by current, rates, in terms of the strength of our shilling, if it was today, the worst paid Kenyan, given the cost of living and other factors, the worst paid Kenyan today should be earning about 120,000 shillings. The worst.
The worst?
The lowest, your house girl in the house.
Casual labor?
Yes, 120,000, which is 120, which is about $1,000.
Can we do this without auction in the country to debtors?
In fact, there's so much money you can even pay $3,000 to the lowest paid. The worst school, secondary school in this country, should be Alliance girls and Alliance boys. The lowest, because schools will be better than Alliance. Yes, we can, and yes, it is possible, and the money is there. We haven't even touched our minerals. Have we ever even touched our minerals? Hata kuscratch hivi. Have we even just scratched our minerals? Have we touched our forests, our rocks? Have we even 0.05% of marine potential, our rivers, lakes, and our share of the ocean? Have we even scratched 1%? What are you talking about? You need a vision. You need big thinking.
If Joho decides to turn around, he can do that?
You need big, but it must start from State House.
It starts from the top?
Yeah, you have to be at the top. The man at the top must have big thinking, big. A vision for Kenya that is better than Singapore.
Do you think part of that big thinking is appointing now John Badi, Wikile for Paranya, who both have financial background?
Forget about big thinking. That's not even thinking at all. There's no thinking involved. Just business, which is good. We are just doing the normal things people do.
Oparanya was at the center of Kibaki's success, economic-wise.
Forget about those. There's nothing there. Those ones cannot change it.
Mbadi is his own public accountant now.
And it's not about Mbadi or
Oparanya
or Opio, my friend, or anybody else. No, or Joe. No. It's about the politics of their country. You must first fix the politics, so that the president does not think about the next election, or who is succeeding him if he's leaving. So that the president does not think about his survival. From the 60s when we got independence, African leaders, more than 70% of state resources and energy and attention went toward the survival of the president. Imaginary enemies were created for Kenyatta and other African presidents by the CIA and America. The men and especially men and a few women who were detained and exiled were not enemies of the state. They were created enemies. Imaginary? They were enemies created by America for Kenyans and other African countries. So you must have the love for the country that will make you cooperate with the other countries, but always draw a line beyond which nobody should cross.
You are mentioning about...
There must be a Rubicon somewhere.
You're signaling the need for us to be patriots at heart. And one person who's come across as one who is very dear, who holds Kenya dear to his heart, is Jimmy Wanjigi. Yes. Oftentimes taking audit of the Kenya's debt position. How true that is, it remains to be seen, because the statement has not been issued by the government. Yes. But do you implore CS Mbadi to make his first order of business declaring the debt position of this country?
How? Mbadi does not have the power to declare. Mbadi is a flower girl at the Treasury.
He has the documents.
How can a flower girl? A flower girl is not the bride.
A flower girl?
Flower girls are, how can you confuse a flower girl for the bride? The bride is the bride and the flower girl is flower girl. The bride at Treasury is not Mbadi. Mbadi is a flower girl. He's holding just
So then
flowers.
Who is Chris Kipto, if Mbadi is the flower girl?
Chris Kipto is part of the system.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm not talking about Ruto. I'm not talking about Kipto. I'm talking about how Kenya has been working all along. It is the principal secretary who holds the sway. It is he or she who knows what's going on. It is he or she who the president talks to. When minister ukienda state house, mnakunywa tu chai na president. Kama ni Uhuru anakumwagia kitu ile ingine kidogo kama unataka. And then you leave. But when the PS comes, they talk serious business.
Allah.
That's how it is this country. So you have to... There has to be a way in which the CS has power. Because he's a carrier, creator, and conveyor of vision, of policy. And the PS is the chief executor. So the person to execute now becomes the person to even rubbish the vision. So the CS, the minister, carries the vision. He can see where the country is going and how the ministry is contributing towards the journey the country is making.
You're talking about the power of a PS, and talk around town is that there's going to be a reshuffle among the permanent secretaries.
Yes,
do you endorse yourself for the PS, National Treasury,
no.
to at least advise Mbadi correctly?
Those are small jobs.
Small jobs?
And I'm an old man. Why should I take jobs instead of children? I can work at an advisory level. I can head up parastatal. I can be the first ambassador to work for Kenya, wherever I'm posted. So that other ambassadors can know what it means to be. Sio kukunywa tu pombe na holding endless parties in the embassy. You go to a country and see things in that country and just say, supposing our ambassador brought this idea to Kenya. There will be so many things happening here if we had ambassadors. We have never had ambassadors. If I took one, maybe I'll be the first ambassador.
Should you be posted to UAE? Will you see an end to our girls being taken there?
They will not. Nobody will step there.
As housemaids and all?
Nothing. They will all come back, those who are there. Nobody else will go.
Hakuna Saudi Arabia?
Hakuna, nothing. How can we perpetuate slavery in modern day? That's slavery. I will not allow it.
Are they all of diaspora remittance?
Which one? We don't want to beg. We don't want crumbs. We want really money. We don't want people to send $200, $50. Wamefanya odd jobs, some jobs very stupid. Then we celebrate when they bring us $180. No, we want to create $18,000. We want that Kenyan to be here to help create $50,000 in a year.
Hakuna kwenda Australia?
Hakuna nenda kufanya nini Australia?
There you have it. That point by Herman Manyora takes us to the wrap of today's conversation, talking matters to do with the revelations from ex-Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u and what these particular dockets can do for this country should it be taken or rather spearheaded in the right way. Time now for Fun of the Week. It is none other than this retired lecturer, Kamanja Kihato.
Kamanja Kihato.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kamanja Kihato.
As-
Thank you for being part of us.
All right.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.